Morning. I'd like to call the Finance Committee meeting for Thursday, April 30th to order. We need a roll call, please.
Mr. Lear?
Present.
Mr. Seroy?
Present.
Mr. Washington?
Present.
Mr. Hess?
Present.
Mr. Byrne? Ms. Weber?
Present.
Mr. Payton? Ms. Parker?
Present.
Mr. Kinzinger?
Present.
Mr. Zenz? Ms. Haas?
Present.
Mr. Swanson?
Present.
Ms. Zucolo?
Present.
Mr. Deno?
Present.
Mr. Miller?
Present.
Mr. Wheeler?
Present.
We have a quorum.
Alrighty. We have no requested for public comment. Not today. Approval of the minutes, March 26, 2020. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Mr. Washington, a second.
I will.
Brenda, I believe. Zucolo.
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on, under highways and buildings, we're going to do the county engineer pay estimates first. Mr. Lear has yielded the chair to me to run the meeting. Is that correct, Mr. Lear?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you, sir. And then, so we'll do the pay engineer estimates first, which will allow us to then have a motion to open bids, which will then allow Mr. Rogers to go open up all of the envelopes while we continue business and then circle back, or else we'd be here watching him open envelopes for upwards of 15-20 minutes maybe. In order to have engaging television, can I get the motion to amend the agenda to county engineer pay estimates first?
Motion to amend the agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Lear with the second. It was Mr. Seroy and Mr. Lear. All those in favor of amending?
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right.
Good morning. I have a few pay estimates here this morning. The first one is for our county general maintenance for the 2020 year. This is payable to Compass Minerals for salt that was delivered to our salt stockpile, and that amount is $42,326.56. Next is for our 2020 General Maintenance Supplement 1. This is payable to Decker Supply Company. This is for steel signposts that were delivered to our shop. That amount is $4,975.50. Next is for our 2020 County General Maintenance Supplement 1. This is payable to Ennis Flint. This is for white and yellow traffic paint, and that amount is $86,350.00. Next is for our Kankakee County 2020 General Maintenance. This is payable to Gallagher Materials Corporation. This is for cold patch picked up at their plant, and that amount is $2,798.68. Next is for the county's 2020 General Maintenance Supplement 1 payable to Osborne Associates. This is for sheeting and complete traffic signs, and that amount is $12,975.90. Next is for our 2020 General Maintenance for the County Supplement 1. This is payable to Potter's Industry. This is for glass beads that are mixed with the traffic paint, and that amount is $24,984.00. Next is for our 2020 County General Maintenance. This is for payable to VCNA Prairie Materials, and this is for road mix picked up at the quarry with our trucks, and that amount is $2,823.32. Next is for our 2020 County General Maintenance payable to Vulcan Materials. This is for road mix picked up at the quarry with our trucks, and that amount is $3,115.95. Next is Salina Road District for their 2020 General Maintenance. This is payable to the Salina Township Road District Treasurer. This is for equipment rental, and that amount is $20,000. And last is Rockville Township for their 2020 General Maintenance. This is payable to VCNA Prairie Materials. This is for road mix picked up at the quarry with their trucks, and that amount is $5,218.61.
Alrighty, to start with, is there a motion to combine and approve the estimates?
I make the motion.
A second.
Tinker with this, who is the motion from?
Aaron.
Aaron, and then Mr. Dunnell, and then Ms. Parker. Motion a second. Is there a question? Mr. Hess, did you have a question?
Yeah, Mark, going back to the Vulcan, estimate number 5, there's 2 different prices on that stone.
Yes, that's correct. We had a letting in January, and the quarry at Lehigh charges a higher price than the quarry at Mantino.
Okay, when you read that, you didn't say it 2 different quarries, that's what I was wondering.
Oh, okay. It gets billed all through the same
Okay,
same company. Yes, I'm sorry.
thank you.
Alrighty, any more questions? All right, we have a motion and a second. That's a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Lear,
Aye.
Mr. Searay,
Aye.
Mr. Washington,
Aye.
Mr. Hess,
Aye.
Mr. Byrne,
Aye.
Ms. Weber,
Aye.
Ms. Parker,
Aye.
Mr. Kinzinger,
Aye.
Ms. Haas,
Aye.
Mr. Swanson,
Aye.
Ms. DiColo,
Aye.
Mr. Dennell,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler,
Aye.
motion carries.
Thank you. I guess at this point, need a motion to open the bids, please, for the next section of bidding and letting.
Go ahead, Hess, make the motion.
Alrighty, and a second. Mr. Miller? Mr. Miller?
Yes.
All those in favor of opening the bids?
Aye.
All
Aye.
those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Alrighty. See you tomorrow. So moving on, while he opens the bids. Under consent agenda, if we could, I'll go ahead and read these into the record, because this is a little bit different than we normally do things, but I need a motion to combine and approve the consent agenda, or if there's anything, as we mentioned before, if anybody has any questions, please call the department head among those for those reports, okay? Because it's something that is standard operating procedure. There's nothing in there that is a financial decision, if you will. And we did not get an auditor's report again this month. This is the second month with no claims report. So I just wanted to mention that to the finance committee as well. So if there's anything else, nothing to discuss, is there a motion to combine and approve?
So moved.
So moved. Is there a second? It's Mr. Washington.
Second.
Who's the second, Mrs. Haas? Okay. I'll read these in the record. Reappointment of James Lamont to the Greater Moments Fire Protection District. Reappointment of Peter Vale to the Farmland Assessment Review Board. Reappointment of Paul Grislak to the Bourbonnais Fire Protection District. The Circuit Clerk's Monthly Report, Coroner's Report, Coroner's Monthly Receipts, all from March 2020. Treasury's Report from 2020. Collector's Report from 2020. March, monthly resolutions for May 2020. Monthly Building Report for March 2020. Monthly resolutions for May. Oh, okay, he did those for May, okay. County Clerk's Monthly Report for March 2020. Recorder's Monthly Report, March 2020. Animal Control's Monthly Report 2020, and that's it. So we have a motion and a second. That'll be a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Lear,
Aye.
Mr. Searay,
Aye.
Mr. Washington,
Aye.
Mr. Hess,
Aye.
Mr. Byrne,
Aye.
Ms. Weber,
Aye.
Ms. Parker,
Aye.
Mr. Kinzinger,
Aye.
Ms. Haas,
Aye.
Mr. Swanson,
Aye.
Ms. DiColo,
Aye.
Mr. Dennell,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler,
Aye.
motion carries.
Alrighty, thank you. Moving on to the Finance Department, Steve McCarty, and we'll turn it over to him. A couple things. I just want to mention one thing. There's a claim that was not recommended for approval. It was my cell phone bill for the county phone, and the stipulation was correct. Verizon changed the way their billing looks, and they started adding the tax into the actual per line charge, which was new, and I hadn't caught that. So rather than the assertion that I was knowingly double dipping on the taxpayers, as was noted by the auditor on that form, I wanted the board to see the type of language that's used between the auditor's office and this office. He was correct in the fact that it was a mistake, and we deducted that from the cell phone reimbursement. So I just wanted to note that to the board. While it's it has to be a motion and a second, I'd like to first thank the auditor for refusing the claim because of the mistake I made. And I wished he would have called or emailed me, but instead now it comes before the board. So I thought you guys have a chance to deny that or make that recommendation.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Second for Mr. Dono. Any questions? Comments? Already, that'll have to be a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Lear,
Aye.
Mr. Searoy,
Aye.
Mr. Washington,
Aye.
Mr. Hess,
Aye.
Mr. Byrne,
Aye.
Miss Weber,
Aye.
Miss Parker,
Aye.
Mr. Kinzinger,
You're on mute, I think, Mr. Kinzinger.
oh no, Mr. Kinzinger,
Ron, can you hear us?
Yes, I said aye.
Okay, I'm sorry, it didn't come through. Sorry about that.
Miss Haas,
Aye.
Mr. Swanson,
Aye.
Ms. DiColo,
Aye.
Mr. Dunno,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler,
Aye,
motion carries.
thank you. And now, is there any other claims recommended for not approval from,
Mr. President.
Oh,
Andy?
Sam came in.
oh, Sam? Okay,
Yeah, I'm here.
okay.
Mr. Payton.
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Steve, you had another claim?
Andy, yeah, we had Alfred G. Ronan Limited that came back.
Hold on just a second. Say that again, Steve, you got muted. Kelly didn't like what
Okay.
you were saying.
Okay. Alfred G. Ronan Limited claimed the first claim under the new contract for $5,000 for March 2020 arrived in our office unapproved for payment by the auditor's office.
Okay, so something that was voted on, approved by the county board, was duly, as the legislative body, we were the ones who approved that expense, and it was rejected again by the auditor. Was there any specific notations that were legible?
Yeah, it's hard to, related to COVID and it's hard to decipher. I'm sorry. I believe everyone has a copy, but I'm not sure if
Okay.
anybody can interpret that better.
Well,
than
then
I.
we'll start with a motion then.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Chairman, I think what the auditor is trying to claim is that because the General Assembly is not meeting with the COVID, we should suspend the contract. Unfortunately, in my opinion, that represents a misunderstanding of the job of a lobbyist. A lobbyist is active, meeting with individual legislators, meeting with representatives of the executive agencies, even when the General Assembly is not in session. And so the job of a lobbyist is ongoing. I would move that we go ahead and pay this. I think we already have a motion that might cover this, but because of the specific circumstances that the auditors raised, if you think it's in order, I'll move to approve payment.
Is that motion to approve paying them all the way through the end of the agreement in November 30th?
Yes.
All right, so we don't have to keep doing this, seeing this show again every month?
Yes.
So that's the motion. Is there a second to that motion?
I second.
Mrs. Akulo, any comments from anyone on the call? Thoughts? I can respond to Mr. Hess. Did you have something?
I was just gonna question why we even brought this up. We voted on this at the board meeting.
It's a new contract. The other one expired and we voted on the new contract. And
Correct.
now we have to reapprove the authorization to pay through the end of this contract, which expires at the end of the legislative session in November. So we won't have to do it again, I guess is what I'm saying, if
Okay.
we do this. So, If anybody has any ideas, wants to talk to me about what we're doing, because we've been doing a lot of work with our lobbyist for the natural gas pipeline in Hopkins Park. I've gotten meetings with the governor's office when I offered to have and the owners of the mall offered to have a COVID testing site there for a regional hub. It didn't end up happening, but we had those conversations and we used our lobbyist for that, amongst everything else that we're working on our agenda that involves schools and everything else that the county's involved in. So I can assure you that we're on regular communication and working on projects, and will for the rest of this year. So is there anybody else that has any thoughts or questions? Okay, that'll be a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Lear,
Aye.
Mr. Seroy,
Aye.
Mr. Washington,
Aye.
Mr. Hess,
Aye.
Mr. Byrne,
Aye.
Ms. Weber,
Aye.
Mr. Payton,
Aye.
Ms. Parker,
Aye.
Mr. Kinzinger,
Aye.
Ms. Haas,
Aye.
Mr. Swanson,
Aye.
Ms. Zucolo,
Aye.
Mr. Deno,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler,
Aye.
motion carries.
Thank you. The next item, Steve, we didn't get any claims to approve again this month. Is that correct?
I'm not aware of if the report was made, so I don't believe that's correct.
We didn't receive anything, so good thing you guys authorized me to pay the bills, or else our vendors would be strung out for now going in the third month. So we hope that those reports sometime would start happening again. That'd be nice. 2020 cash flow and managing current year projections. So this is something that Steve and Anita have been working on. We've been meeting on this on a regular basis. So we wanted to at least get that to the board now, so they would understand what the knowns are, what the variables are, what the situation is, and then it'll move into the next phase of what are we going to do about it as a future conversation. But at what point do we start taking action? That'll be what this leads to. So with that, I can turn it over to Steve and Anita.
Okay, well, I'm going to share my screen and drop us into the PowerPoint that kind of is an overview. And partway through the PowerPoint, then I'm going to turn it over to Steve, and he's going to actually go through his 3 models. But hopefully this will give you an idea of where our cash and fund balance projections are right now, and what the estimates, what the models are showing as we move forward through this closure period. Kelly, you've disabled participant screen sharing, so could you please put that on for me so that I can open up the...
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I told Kelly she was going to be part of the IT department.
Try.
You just had to save me.
Who is that masked man? Anita, you want to try again?
Nope, I got it.
All right.
So you could all see the PowerPoint. Can somebody give me a high five or something that I know I've got it? Okay, sounds good.
That's good.
All right, good. So for some perspective, Steve did compare where we're at right now with the previous downturn in the 2015 time period. Just as a comparison, during the last downturn, we had a
Very top left.
Okay.
over a 3-year period.
Minimize.
Kelly, I think you muted me.
You're back.
Okay. Okay, so we had a $9 million loss over a 3-year period, or a pace of about $250,000 a month over 36 months. There were essentially 2 main revenue sources affected: the sales tax and the bed rental program that drove that loss. compare that to our current pandemic and our downturn over the last 45 days, our revenue pace right now is approximately $500,000 a month, so double what the downturn was in 13 and 14. The duration is unknown at this time. We don't know how long this is going to last. And instead of two revenue sources, there are multiple revenue sources at this time, and possibly others that we're unaware of yet that we've been able to quantify. From a fund balance perspective, our general fund balance at 11/30/2019 was $1.5 million to the good. Our FY20 budget had a contingency line of $1.5 million. So at 12/1/2019, our original estimate was to end the year with a $3 million fund balance to the good. That's where we started as of 12/1 of this year. Now, Steve is going to talk about, as he went through his modeling, his known variables at this time. Steve?
Hold on just a second.
Muted.
Okay, you're
Got it?
unmuted. You're
Am I
unmuted.
on?
Yep, you're on.
Okay. All right. For all the members, we did send you the regular reports, monthly reports. We won't spend any time on those. But if you look at like the sales tax and the use tax, you'll see that the time frame of on the left is when it takes place with the retailer, and then as compared to when the county receives the money. March retail month we won't know until early June, as well as April and early July. So in trying to read everything we can get our hands on, talking to people locally, even last night I heard a story locally where a drive-through is keeping up with regular business. I've also heard ranges from -30% to -80%. We know that there's a lot of places not open right now. So through the discussions that we've had, we came up with an estimate of -50%, just to try to put a number and an effect to this during closed months for sales tax, and then the first reopening month at -25%. So a U-shaped recovery where it could take a little bit of time for everything to come back to normal for those, reopening and, that are most effective. For income tax, that would equal out to the unemployment conversations that we're hearing. Early on, we were hearing 12 to 15% estimates. I think in other parts of the country, we're now hearing upwards of 15 to 20% potentially. So we picked 14% on the closed month and -7% in the reopening month. So -14 and -7. Use tax follows the same timeline as far as March to June, April to July, as sales tax does. That's a lot of online and other items. Are very difficult to gauge and try to find information out about this one. So the best guesstimate, we use -15 in a closed month, -7.5 in the first reopening month. We have reached out multiple times and received information back from the various departments. Again, we're hearing no change to potential increase, all the way to 35-40% decreases because of the changes in buildings being open and their activity. So we worked with 25% and looked at their individual normal rates of fees, fines, things of those natures, and then combined them. It averages out to -25% on a closed month, and we use -15% on the first reopening month. And then for other things that we have not been able to identify, we use -30,000 each month for both the closed and the reopening. And then the sheriff has provided a separate schedule for their COVID-related changes in the bed rental program that were plugged in to the estimates as well. Anita, you can take over again.
So those were the things we were felt comfortable quantifying and including in the model. There are other things that we don't have enough information on currently. So they're unknown variables at this time and not yet included in the model. So the first is tax receipts. We don't know if our late and non-payment of property taxes will be in excess of our historic trend, or if it'll hold true as it has in years gone past. So we're going to watch that. Grant receipts, both on a federal and a state level, there could be either delayed or non-payment of reimbursement grants based on, especially from a state perspective, the downturn in the revenues for the state as well. The other thing that is a concern is the grant and aid, especially affects the largest one is our probation department, and if there will be a change there, either a late payment or non-payment of several months of those grant and aid. So those are not in the modeling. The next thing would be, is this a longer term recession? So if you read articles, they're indicating that depending on how long the closures go, there could be those businesses that have been closed. There's a historic trend that after an emergency, businesses that close, 30 to 60% of them never reopen. So there is a concern there that this will lead to a longer term recession or employees that aren't able to go back to work. And then as Steve mentioned in the previous slide, is the recovery going to be a V or a U? In other words, once the economy reopens, will there be a sharp decrease to prior or increase to prior levels, or will it be a bit slower? Will our citizens be a little more cautious and not return to the prior spending limits or units as they had historically? So those are the things that are not yet included in the model. There are 3 models. One is 3 months, 4 months, and 5 months. Those are reopen dates of June, July, or August. So the impact being 3, 4, or 5 months. I'm going to close this right now, and I'm going to head over to Steve's model so that he can talk us through what he's done. And there, that should be, everybody see the first model A, option A on the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Steve.
Okay. All right. So we basically took those assumptions and the information that we have and put a value to it, and then plugged in the information. Chose to use the cash flow analysis for multiple reasons. Historically, this has been a very accurate model, both when the prior downturn and then with the uptick that we just experienced over the last few years. Running cash out is very accurate. In this case, for us, what's unique about our situation and running it out all the way through April of 21, March, April, May, is the way we receive our property tax. We receive the bulk of it between July and October. So with November being our fiscal year end, that can skew a little bit of what the actual fiscal year actually did, but it shows up accurately in March, April, and May, in the spring months. And so this model gives me a chance to do multiple options like we're looking at, and to try to show you the changes. So basically, option A is the economy reopening month is June. So June would be the partial reopening as we showed it in the variables. And then July would be a full month opening as far as the model. The most important information that we were trying to do here was interpret it, the changes and how long the changes go into what the ending fund balance, what the estimated ending fund balance could be for the general fund and how much impact that we're experiencing. So the most important number is at the bottom right for these options, and results in where are we going to be at with the result of this impact. So for option A, plugging in the changes to inmate bed rental and miscellaneous receipts, which is where the sales tax and income tax land on this model, and keeping everything as consistent as we can on the outflows. Our estimate is, with the reopening month in June, that the ending fund balance for the general fund would be approximately $1 million. So the good news right now is that the general fund is still positive. The bad news is the length of time and the level of impact that the COVID situation is and what we're experiencing. So that's what we're attempting to try to understand by using this. And then the changes in option B as compared to option
Before
A.
you go to option
Sure.
B, that ending fund balance you listed on option A for a minute. Now, what date are you referring to there? Is that a recurring date? Is it a specific date? I'm a little unclear there.
Well, again, this is an estimate. The June would be the partial reopening month as we looked in the assumptions, and then July
Right.
would be the full opening month.
Right.
And those specific calculations are plugged into the model, you know, and that's how we're backing into what the total impact would be for that information. It's not done by a specific, you know, date. It's done, you know, by month, basically.
Okay.
All these hit in various times of the month, so trying to do it, you know, on exact date of the month, we pretty much have to take the whole month into consideration. Any other questions? I'm just going to explain option B, the differences. So option B, the difference is only in the bed rental line and the miscellaneous receipts line on the inflows, basically extending the closed month calculations out further, and then recalculating that impact, as well as an option C. So option B, the opening month is July, and the full month of everything back to normal, if you will. The estimated impact would be 500,000 ending fund balance, and then option C, if the length of time took us through August and into September, our ending fund balance would be approximately 0 or negative again, as far as the general fund estimate. So we also, just a note, you may notice that the highway payback is not in there. The explanation there is that that's not off the table, but in order to have apples to apples calculation, we had to make sure that we had everything just flowing under normal conditions. That can always come back into discussion, but in order to know apples to apples of change, we had to calculate that without it at this point. That's all I had, unless there's any questions, or send it back to Anita and Andy.
So is there any questions about any of this for Steve, before we move on to the next phase on here? It's just, my only comment is that we need to keep in mind that those variables are still hanging out there. This model has, you know, 50% like for sales tax or whatever that number was, you have to forgive me, but what if it comes in 60? What if it comes in 20? What if, you know, property taxes come in and people are having trouble paying those, or income taxes down because of reduced, you know, household income? You know, those are things that we just don't know. What did people shift from, you know, buying at stores where it's a lower sales tax into having, you know, Grubhub and all these other people deliver a highly taxed prepared food to their house? We just don't know how this is going to manifest. So there is still a lot of unknowns out there. So if you look at option A at being $1 million, that may change when June hits and we start to look at those receipts that start coming in from the state. So just a little perspective, these are projections based on unknown variables at this point, and it's the best educated guess that we can give you on trying to be conservative in that approach. So any questions for Steve before we kind of move to the next phase? Is there a hand? Aaron? No? Okay. All right, so I apologize. I can't see them, so is there anybody's waving their hand?
It's Anita's screen.
Oh, okay. So let me run through this real quick, and then we'll see if there's any more questions. So again, the original estimate of the 20, we all know, was to have the $1.5 million that we had gained, or at least the $1.5 million general fund surplus we had at the beginning of this budget year, was we were going to run another $1.5 million surplus to get further out of the hole, to further reduce the need to ever borrow or things like that. But the current estimate as of 3/31 is we're already at that point $500,000 off of that. And so accordingly, if we're down $500,000 in estimated loss every month in revenue, you know, you can see that right now we're probably sitting at 2. And if we go another month, you know, a full month, or reopen in June, we're talking we're down to 1. So this absolutely escalates and is consistent, and that's not counting all the unknowns like grant and aid. If we're not getting reimbursed for that and other things the state may not have to pay for, and all the other things we mentioned. So I just want to make sure that, you know, you won't see me, I didn't put an option up here for going back into the negative again, because I don't think anybody wants to go back to where we've been. So this whole exercise and this project for the last month has been geared to giving you the best information we have as it evolves, and we've had to readjust this continually as things become known, but give you the information and decide as a board, when is it time to take action based on the numbers that we are comfortable with. You know, we know we're not coming out of this unscathed from a financial sense, not to mention the human cost, but what is it as a board are we willing to do as far as a number that then we need to have an action plan developed around that number. You can't do it the other way. If there's changes that need to be made, then we're going to have to make those changes based on what we decide that number is. So that's today. Today's discussion is, what is the trigger? Is it $1 million? Is it 500,000, knowing that either one of those could be lower by the time that we get to that point of knowledge? Or C, is it 0, which will likely be negative by the time we get to that point? So right now is the time for if there's a motion, if there's a discussion, consensus, you know, we just need to start running through these things and see what you guys are thinking to recommend to the full board for approval. So with that, we can open it back up and take off the mute. Okay. So is there anybody that has the first thoughts, comments? If there is a motion, whatever, we can go that direction. It's up to you.
I feel that you shouldn't go all the way down to 0. I think the 500,000 would be a starting point.
Okay. So, and is there another thought on there from the board on what you guys are thinking and any reasoning why?
I'd like to make a motion that we use the $1 million trigger to enact any kind of fail-safes to protect our employees and our obligations. Just because our payroll is like 1.5 sometimes in a month. So if we don't have some kind of cushion, and $1 million really isn't enough to have a cushion, but if something would happen, we don't have that cushion, we could really be in a hard time. So I'd like to make a motion at the $1 million trigger, option A.
I'll second.
Okay, so there's a motion for Mr. Ciro, a second from Mrs. Parker. You know, Mr. Washington thought $500,000 was a number that he liked. Is there any other comments and you know, thoughts on this or reasons why you might do one thing or another? You know, it's the floor is yours.
Andy,
Okay, who was first? Who was the hey Andy?
that was me.
Okay, Mr. Hess.
I have to agree with Todd and Tinker on this $1 million thing, because if we set it at 500,000 and we lose 200,000 or 250, then we're down to 250,000. I think we have to keep it at the higher level to keep our reserve up. I'll support the $1 million one.
Okay, any other thoughts there?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Lear.
I appreciate all the work that has been done, and I've tried to ask a couple of questions of Mr. McCarty. I think he's done a good job but I'm a little concerned it may still be a little optimistic. One of the variables that has been mentioned is in terms of what the state's going to be doing. And I'm not at all confident that the state will be quite as quick to reimburse us as the existing schedule is. So I guess I would have to support the 1 million.
Okay. Any other thoughts, comments from the group?
Mr. Wheeler, this is Mike then. Sorry, I just jumped in. I do support the 1 million that we have spoken about, that I've heard about. I think that's the right way to go because it does give us enough leeway to trigger any additional actions that may need to be taken at that time.
Thank you. And it's one thing I mentioned, it was the word reserve. This is a fund balance. It's not necessarily cash on hand. There's always that difference between a fund balance and cash. So my opinion was, and I wasn't going to put this out there first, is to go with $1 million because it allows us the most flexibility to deal with unknowns in terms of cash and what the state's going to do and everything else. But we don't have a reserve fund beyond that. We're still living hand to mouth because we were about, a third of the way through where we needed to be, so we didn't need to live hand to mouth, and we had a reserve, and we didn't need to run to banks, who frankly may or may not be there based on how their lending is looking. We don't know how their small business loans and their housing loans are, and if TAWs are even going to be accessible. So I just wanted to mention that as well. That's another unknown. While we haven't been refused by anybody, who knows what's going to happen if we're into this in July and everybody's upside down on their revenue streams, including the banks. So, Mr. Seroy, did you have something?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I see Mr. Skimmerhorn is on here, and one of the questions that I had was, how has the permits been going during this COVID-19? Has there been an uptick, a downtick in the permits, building permits in his department? Does he have any information on that he could share with the board? I think that'll play into kind of going forward the climate of our economy.
Am I on?
You're on, Del.
If you look, you have the building report for March, and you brought in a revenue of $27,367 for March, and that was a total of 59 permits. The same last year, when we factor out one large permit for CSL Bearing, we only had 49 permits, and we've only brought in $14,162. So I would say our permitting is strong and actually higher than normal.
Thank you, Delbert.
I do not have figures for April yet, so but we are doing that.
Alrighty, any other questions on that? So I'm hearing, the motion in the second was on the $1 million. Once, if that is approved, then we'll start to go back and tailor a response that if and when we get to that number, what are the recommended actions from our finance professionals here at the county? So, and then you'll have another set of decisions to make at that point. So,
if you notice, Andy, I didn't give motion. I only mentioned the 500,000 so that the discussion would begin.
Oh, I understand, sir. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was a motion. I just thought it was your opinion, and I apologize if it was. I do apologize. I took it as an opinion.
No. Okay.
Hey, Andy, this is Joe Swanson. I agree with $1 million. I mean, it's the responsible choice for us, I think. Nobody has a crystal ball. We can't see where the bottom is. So I think we have to make the best decision going forward. And I think that is the right decision.
Thank you for that. Okay, then, if there's nothing else, any other comments, thoughts? Then we could, we're not necessarily spending money here. We're making a recommendation to the full board on what they would do in this matter. So we have a motion and a second, and I'll do a voice vote. That's okay with everybody?
Let's do it.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
There was a call for a roll call, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Roll call for Mr. Lear.
Mr. Lear,
Aye.
Mr. Seroy,
Aye.
Mr. Washington,
Aye.
Mr. Hess,
Aye.
Mr. Byrne,
Aye.
Ms. Weber,
Aye.
Mr. Payton,
Aye.
Ms. Parker,
Aye.
Mr. Kinzinger,
Aye.
Mr. Zenz,
Aye.
Ms. Haas,
Aye.
Mr. Swanson,
Aye.
Ms. Zucolo,
Aye.
Mr. Dunno,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler,
Aye.
motion carries.
All right, motion carries. Thank you. Well, this will be final determination as the full board. We'll run through the, I hope if other members of that aren't on finance committee will check out the presentation and come to that meeting armed with information, and reach out to Steve and Anita and myself if you have any questions about that. Obviously, the folks here know what's going on. We want to make sure the rest of the board does as well. So lots of time between now and then to get those questions answered. Real quick, I want to take, you can bring those up. Come on back up here, please. And then we want to take care of the PBC liability insurance as the next item, because we have some guests on the call today. As a little bit of background, I want to make sure everybody understands the PBC, the Public Building Commission, is the true, I guess, owner right now of the jail complex out there, the parts that are still on a bond. They're the bonding authority. We did alternate revenue bonds some years ago to establish that facility out there. And so as the bondholder, it was their responsibility to get insurance for the building. And it's our responsibility as the county to carry, you know, insurance on contents of the building and everything associated with the vehicles and all that kind of stuff. So as we started moving through this, and we partnered with ICRMT, they saved us just a ton of money over the years, and have been a valuable resource on controlling costs as we started to take a look at the way we address our liability. And we got good partners, and they're on the phone, and I'll let our broker consultant introduce his team. But it became evident that we needed to, as most counties do that have a PBC involved, we needed to try to roll that insurance together and have the same policy with similar type limits and coordination of those benefit limits, and to avoid any issues, which we haven't really had major ones. Some things came up, but they weren't major stumbling blocks. But we also realized that under the current policy the county has right now for liability, none of the contents of the jail were insured, and they weren't insured under the PBC's policy. So there's a chance for disconnection if this is not coordinated properly. And so we ran the numbers. I asked you know, our consultant broker to run the numbers to see exactly what it would be. And ICRMT came up with a program that they want to present to you where it will save us money, because ultimately when the PBC gets a bill for liability insurance, the county pays for it. So it's really our bill, even though it's going from one entity to another. So we have a lot of influence over where we go here, because we're the ones who are paying the bill. So we went through that process. I am not a member of the board of the PBC. I'm kind of like, what do they call that? Ex officio. I'm off to the side. I go to the meetings. But there was a vote there to allow this to move forward because they saw the financial benefit. So the finance committee here is going to hear the information and then be cleared to take whatever action we need to, knowing that the PBC's insurance expires, June. And so they would be potentially added to our policy for the rest of the year on a pro rate. And you'll see the financial benefits and the other things that ICRMT is offering. So with that, Homer, are you able to introduce your team, and you guys can take the floor?
Yeah, thank you, Andy. I'm here with Dan Mackey from Alliant and Todd Greer, who's the Senior Vice President for the IPMG group, which represents the ICRMT program. So a little history here. When we took over your program, I was in discussions with Dan Mackey at Alliant and Todd over at the ICRMT. And Todd mentioned, Kankakee is very unique in how they're placing their insurance coverages. Most of our counties that have outside entities that are governed by the county board, essentially, are insured under the county's program. So we began to look at that, and actually, we had a couple claims that came through where the other broker said, well, that's not our claim, that's the ICRMT's claim, and in reality, it was not, it was their claim, and it happened twice. So we moved along, and we decided that we should provide you guys with a quote. Todd did add some contents coverage to your policy last year at no cost, just to make sure that there was coverage there in case there was any discrepancies. So what we've done is essentially saved the county approximately $14,532 by adding your program, the PBC's building and contents coverage and liability coverages, to the current ICRMT program, and that would take effect on June 1st of 2020. And the reason why is because their policy, the PBC policy, runs out on June 1st, and you're not obligated to renew with them at that time, so there's no penalties. So basically the proposal is to move the PBC's policy onto the ICRMT program, which would afford the same protections that are currently in place under your policy with the county. So with that said, we would then take your property limits from currently, I believe we're around 66 million to 119,234,932 at a cost of annual cost of $49,645, and a prorated cost beginning in June at $23,416. Prior to this, you were paying $59,000. So it's an overall savings of $14,532. And again, it provides you all the same coverages, such as open door legal. We will come in and appraise the property and the contents that didn't get appraised before because it wasn't under the county's program. So that's a free service that's provided. You'll also have access to our loss and risk assessment tools. So basically, you'll enjoy all the same coverages that the county currently enjoys under the ICRMT program. So there's 14 grand back in your coffers, folks.
So I guess if we wanted to start with a motion and get into questions, that's appropriate. Is there a motion on the floor for this action? Is that a motion from the dog?
Is that a motion from the dog?
Your voice sounds kind of rough. Sorry. Is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Kinzinger, a second from Mr. Washington. Questions, please. Direct any questions to Homer or to the ICRMT, IPMG team if you have anything. Sounds like it's a pretty good explanation. It makes financial sense for the county, and the PBC agrees. So, last call for questions, comments.
We just like that we're going to be under one broker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll be under one policy with one
policy.
broker. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It wasn't necessarily a broker issue. It was more of an issue of cost savings, contents coverage, and then coordinating all of these things. The policy, we had some issues, but they weren't major. But if they become major, you tend to have two companies pointing at each other. That's not a good position to be in for us.
Well, they were covered. The claims were covered.
Right.
But we appreciate your confidence in our team. Over the years, we've saved the county, I believe now, several $1 million with our programs since we moved you. The claims are getting paid. Again, you've got this open door legal option if you need it. I know that Andy and Anita and the team there have from time to time reached out to our team, and we provided, I think, exemplary service. And that's thanks to Todd and Danny and their team. So appreciate your confidence, and I hope that the board would approve this motion, if there was a motion.
Yep, there was.
Yeah, motion and second.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All righty then.
Savings coming.
Any more comments, questions? Roll call vote then, please.
Mr. Lear,
Aye.
Mr. Searoy,
Aye.
Mr. Washington,
Aye.
Mr. Hess,
Aye.
Mr. Byrne,
Aye.
Miss Weber,
Aye.
Mr. Payton,
Aye.
Miss Parker,
Aye.
Mr. Kinzinger,
Aye.
Mr. Zenz,
Aye.
Miss Haas, Mr. Swanson,
Aye.
Mr. Colo, Mr. Colo,
Aye.
Mr. Dennell,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler,
Aye.
motion carries.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
As far as timing goes, gentlemen, the policy documents need to be prepared when we approve this potentially at the full board meeting in a couple of weeks. Does that present any issues as far as executing documents? Because the full board does need to approve.
No, Todd and Dan will prepare the document for you to sign once it's approved. All you have to do once it's approved and the proposal is signed is send it over to us, and we will amend all of your current property values and your contents coverage. And again, then at that time, the PVC and their directors will all be afforded the same coverages that you all are currently afforded.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
You too. Good luck, all.
Alrighty, moving on to, we have the bids are opened. And so get out your favorite pen and pencil because we got some things to run through real quick. Real quick is not a very accurate term, so.
All right. Thank you for your patience. We'll start with the Junior Road District, section 18-04, 128-00-BR. This is for a bridge replacement in Junior Township. It's on east of X-Line Road on North Street.
Oh, his mic's not on. Sorry.
Sorry.
My fault.
The first bidder and only bidder we have this morning for the bridge is Toby's Construction and Cartage. They have an ATC attached. And they have a bid bond as a proposal guarantee. Toby's bid is $498,449.00. $498,449.00. The next item we have is the Highway and Buildings Committee approved for me to purchase a spray patcher and a storage tank. And so we are taking bids on those items this morning, and I have 2 bids this morning. We mailed these to this Garlock Equipment, but it looks like the company is called Simline, CIMLINE. We'll have to do a little math here because they separated the spray patcher and the tank. So their spray patcher is $64,845.00. And their tank is $55,800.
Kelly, could you tell us what that total is when you get it?
126.45.
126,045.
120,645.
$120,645 from Simline.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the next proposal is from Hampton Equipment. And they have separated the two also. The spray patcher is $59,000. And the tank is $49,000.
108,000.
108,000. Thank you.
I did that in my head.
Okay, very good. All right. Next proposals are for the Kankakee County General Maintenance Non-MFT 20-0000-00-GM Non-MFT. First bidder is Gallagher Asphalt Corporation. This is for paving County Highway 22 and County Highway 21. They have an ATC attached. And a bid bond for a proposal guarantee. Gallagher's bid is $998,189.20. $998,189.20. And next is Kankakee Valley Construction. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee, and because this is not an MFT, the ATC is not required. Kankakee Valley's bid is $993,885.51. $993,885.51. Next is our county general maintenance 20-00000-00-GM supplement 2. This is for cape sealing that's going to be done in the village of Bondfield on County Highway 6. First proposal is that of AC pavement striping. There's a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And there is an ATC attached. AC payments price is $85,534.20. $85,534.20. Next is Microservicing Contractors, LLC. You have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee and an ATC attached. Their bid is $108,592.60. $108,592.60.
What's the percentage of?
It's normally 10%.
Okay.
This is a operation that we've not done before, and so we were looking into different things, but I'm going to look at our cost, and maybe the motion could be to accept these based on Township Highway Commissioner's concurrence and IDOT approval.
Is that noted by the group? If it's usually 10% more than the lowest bid is more than 10% of the estimate, it triggers another action on bidding, but per Mark's discussion, the motion would have to include, for all of these, to include for him to check that out, as he mentioned. So,
yes.
Okay.
All right. Next section is our County General Maintenance, section 20-00000-00-GM Supplement 3. First is AC pavement striping. And they have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. AC's price is $688,239.20. 36 cents, $688,239.36. Next is Grosso Construction. They have an ATC attached and a bid bond for a proposal guarantee. Grosso's bid is $582,227.86. $582,227.86. Next is our Kankakee County General Maintenance, Section 20-00000-00-GM Supplement 4. This is for pulverization and ag base repair on our County Highway 33. First proposal is Hammond Wagner. He has a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And there is an ATC attached. Hammond Wagner's bid is $114,459.96. $114,459.96. Next proposal is from Scanlon Excavating. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. Oops. Scanlon's bid is $156,376.64. $156,376.64. And last is Toby's Construction and Cartage. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. Toby's bid is $155,629.24. $155,629.24. Next is Aroma Road District. There's section 20-01000-00-GM. This is for oil and chip done in the township and a section of Cape Seal. The only bidder I have is AC Pavement Striping. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. AC's bid is $114,168.78. $114,168.78. Oh, I'm sorry, there is one more bid for that one.
One more bidder on that.
One more bidder on the Aroma. This is Micro Surfacing Contractors. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. Microsurfacing's bid is $162,459.96. $162,403.75. $162,403.75. Next is Bourbonnais Road District, Section 20-02000000GM. This is for oil and chip work to be done in the township. First bidder is AC Pavement Striping. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. AC's bid is $42,015.40. $42,015.40. And next is Grasso Construction Company. They have a cashier's check in the amount of $1,000 as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. Grasso's bid is $37,522.40. $37,522.40. Next is Essex Road District, Section 20-03000000GM. This is for oil and chip work to be done in Essex Township. The first bidder is AC Pavement Striping. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. AC's bid is $48,216.33. $48,216.33. Next is Grasso Construction. He has a cashier's check in the amount of $1,000 as a proposal guarantee. And he has an ATC attached. Grasso's bid is $41,857.55. $41,857.55. Next is Essex Road District Section 20-03000000GM Supplement 1. This is for aggregate to be FOB picked up at the quarry. The only bid I have is from Vulcan Materials. And as this is just a pickup, there's no proposal guarantee or bid bond or ATC, and their bid is $8.25 per ton. Next is Janier Road District, Section 20-04000000GM. This is for oil and chip work to be done in the township. First proposal is AC Pavement Striping. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. AC's bid is $42,442.10. $42,442.10. Next is Grasso Construction. They have a cashier's check in the amount of $1,000 as a proposal guarantee. And he's got an ATC attached. Their bid is $35,952.25. $35,952.25. Next is Limestone Road District, section 20-06-00000GM. This is for oil and chip work to be done in Limestone Township, and the first bidder is AC Pavement Striping. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee and an ATC attached. AC's bid is $127,956.37. $127,956.37. Last is Grasso Construction. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee, and they have an ATC attached. Grasso's bid is $108,623.95. $108,623.95. Next is Mantino Road District, section 20-07-00000GM. This is for oil and chip work to be done in Mantino Township. First is AC Pavement Striping. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. AC's bid is $144,030.95. $144,030.95. Next is Grasso Construction Company. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee, and they have an ATC attached. Grasso's bid is $129,628.60. $129,628.60. Next is Momentro District. Their section 20-08-00000GM. This is for oil and chip work to be done in Moments Township. First bidder is AC Pavement Striping. They have a proposal guarantee of as a bid bond, and they have an ATC attached. AC's bid is $67,595.40. $67,595.40. Next is Grasso Construction. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee and an ATC attached. Grasso's bid is $57,249.00. $57,249.00. Next is Norton Road District for their section 20-09-000-00GM. The only bidder I have is Grasso Construction Company. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee and an ATC attached. Grasso's bid is $98,163.00. $98,163.00. Next is Norton Road District, section 20-09-000-00GM, supplement 1. First bidder I have is Hamann Wagner. He has a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee and an ATC attached. Hamann Wagner's bid is $91,865.70. $91,865.70. And last is Toby's Construction and Cartage. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. Toby's bid is $112,506.80. $112,506.80. Next is Auto Road District, section 20-10000-00-GM. The first bidder I have is AC Pavement Striping. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee, and they have an ATC attached. AC's bid is $141,700.67. $141,767. Next is Grasso Construction. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee, and they have an ATC attached. Grasso's bid, $131,529.30. $131,529.30. Next is Pilot Road District, section 20-12-000-00-GM. This is for oil and chip in Pilot Township. The first bidder is, and only bidder, is Grasso Construction. And sorry, that did not get printed on the bid tab sheet. There is a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And there is an ATC attached. Grasso's bid is $250,169.57. $250,169.57. Next is Pilot Road District, section 20-12-000-00-GM, supplement 1. This is for pulverization and aggregate base repair. And we have two bidders, Hamm & Wagner, first bidder. And there is a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And there is an ATC attached. Hamm & Wagner's bid is $87,433.30. $87,433.30. Last is Toby's Construction and Cartage. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee and an ATC attached. Toby's bid is $90,682.77. $90,682.77. Next is Rockville Road District, section 20-13-000-00-GM. This is for oil and chip work to be done in the township. First proposal is AC Pavement Striping. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. AC's bid is $47,226.85. And next is Grasso Construction Company. He has a cashier's check in the amount of $1,000 as a proposal guarantee. And there is an ATC attached. Grasso's bid is $40,000. $40,581.30. $40,581.30. Next is Salina Road District, Section 20-14-00000 GM. This is for oil and chip work to be done in the township. First proposal is AC pavement striping. There is a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And there is an ATC attached. AC's bid is $62,382.32. $62,382.32. And last is Grosso Construction. There is a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And there is an ATC attached. Grosso's bid is $59,320.30. $59,320.30. Next is St. Anne Township, Section 20-15-00000 GM. This is for oil and chip work to be done in the township and a section of Cape Seal. First proposal is AC pavement striping. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee and an ATC attached. AC's bid is $90,206.85. $90,206.85. And lastly is microsurfacing contractors. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee and an ATC attached. Microsurfacing bid is $127,929.77. $127,929.77. Next is Sumner Road District, Section 20-16-00000 GM. This is for oil and chip work to be done in the township and a section of Cape Seal. First is AC pavement striping. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. AC's bid is $67,673.25. $67,673.25. And lastly is microsurfacing contractors. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee and an ATC attached. Their bid is $120,599.09. $120,599.09. Last, Yellowhead Road District, Section 20-17-00000 GM. This is for oil and chip work to be done in the township and a section of Cape Seal. First is AC pavement striping. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee and an ATC attached. AC's bid is $159,709.47. $159,709.47. And last is microsurfacing contractors. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee and an ATC attached. Their bid is $197,627.17. $197,627.17.
Alrighty. So, Mr. Rogers, could you state the motion that would need to be made as you stated before, just to?
I would request a motion to accept the bids to the qualified bidder upon concurrence with the Township Highway Commissioner for Township Jobs and the Department of Transportation.
Is there a motion on that?
The lowest qualified bidder.
Lowest qualified bidder.
That's what I said first.
Okay. All right. So I had Mr. Washington, a second.
Yes.
Who's the second? Mrs. Parker.
Sorry, I'm
Okay.
a second.
I got you there. So, any questions about any of these?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I noticed a number of these bids were under the estimate. Is there a reason that might be happening?
At our last Highway and Bridge Committee meeting, the committee voted for me not to release the estimates anymore or the plan holders list, so we did not give out our estimate. We used our estimates kind of from last year, not knowing what was going to happen, but I feel that a lot of this is the oil prices may have dropped and may be contributing to this. The Cape Seal operation, why the one came in over it's something that we've never done, and we did a little research and did our best with that estimate, but this is our first time doing this, so I can reasonably probably accept that bid because I don't think we'll get it any cheaper.
Any other questions? Alrighty, we have a motion and a second. That would be a roll call vote.
Mr. Lear,
Aye.
Mr. Searoy,
Aye.
Mr. Washington,
Aye.
Mr. Hess,
Aye.
Mr. Byrne, Ms. Weber,
Aye.
Mr. Payton,
Aye.
Ms. Parker,
Aye.
Mr. Kinzinger, Mr. Zenz,
Aye.
Ms. Haas,
Aye.
Mr. Swanson,
Aye.
Ms. DiColo,
Aye.
Mr. Dennell,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on. It was only a half hour. I thought it was going to be more.
I tried.
You tried, yeah. Moving on to planning and zoning. We had some more solar farm decommissioning plans come in. We've already approved one. I'm going to leave the floor to Dell to talk about this a moment. I have to run out of the room real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. And then if you could, please answer any questions, Dell, if I'm not back, okay? Do you have a presentation on your screen to run through?
I don't have to talk about it.
I'm sorry?
So I don't have a presentation. I was gonna talk about it.
Okay, go ahead. And we're getting broken up here. We're getting broken up a little bit on you.
Is that better?
Yeah, try to stay right in front of the screen. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, is that better? All right, provided you with copies of 3 decommissioning plans. The county's actually already approved 2. One for Creek and one for the Yankees. So in your packet, you have decommissioning plans for Solar, No Strand Solar, and Peterman 2. Those are all from the same company, Cypress Creek. And they're ranging from $232,000 to $245,000 for the decommissioning plans. Can you hear me?
Hey, Delbert, I think maybe we should call you on your phone extension. It's breaking up quite a bit. That might work best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, can you help me? All right, let's try that.
What's your extension?
5546.
Jason? Will that work for you?
Yeah, we just have to turn that mic on.
This one.
Don't wait till after the answers.
Hello?
Hi,
Hello?
Delbert, it's Kelly.
Okay. Okay.
Get this mic on.
The guest one.
Can everyone hear me now? Everyone hear me now?
Turn off his mic on his.
Yeah. Mute him. Okay.
Okay, Delbert, try it again.
Is that working? Okay, let's start over. Let's start over. Okay. We provided you with the decommissioning plans for 3 more solar farms. One is the Peterman 2 solar farm in Aroma Township. One is the Vulcan solar farm in Limestone Township, and the other one is Nostrand, which is in Mantino Township, right next to the Bourbonnais Township border. All 3 of these are from the same company, Cypress Creek. They range from $232,000 to $245,000. The staff has reviewed them all, and I'm going to turn my phone down. I'm getting some backlog here. And we found them to be reasonable. It appears that they have covered all contingencies on the process of decommissioning, and we would recommend that the county board approve these decommissioning plans and accept a bond in the amount specified for the financial security of the decommissioning plan. So,
hey, Del, I'm back. I just had a quick question, just for the sake of the PZA members who are here and the board that saw the previous one of these. Are there any major differences between the decommissioning plan that we've already approved? And you might have already talked about this. I apologize. I should have asked, but is there any differences?
Not really, no. We actually the county actually approved 2 decommissioning plans already. And there's some differences in the numbers, but not ridiculous differences, because each one is site specific. But as far as the items listed for decommissioning, they are very similar.
Okay. Any questions for Del from the group?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, if I might.
Yes, sir.
Dal, because I'm not part of PZA, I probably need a little more background here. All 3 of these decommissioning plans, are they based on the number of units, and are the number of units essentially the same in each case? Because all 3 costs are very similar.
The costs are similar. Since these are being constructed by the same company, they are using the same racking system, same units. There's some differences in size as far as acreage, so there's some differences on the disturbed area that has to be restored and such.
Okay.
This decommissioning plan is good for 3 years, where it'll be reevaluated by the county and any adjustments made at that point.
Any other questions? All right, is there a motion on the floor to approve?
So moved.
Mr. Washington with the motion, second.
Second. Peyton.
Mr. Payton.
Mr. Payton with the second. Okay, I'm going to turn you down, Del. All right. Looks like, is there any more questions for Del before I hang up the echo box here? All righty. We have a motion and a second. Spending money, it's a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. All right, now we need to move on. I believe Ben has the next item. Hold on a second, Ben. All right, there you go.
I do. So I was hiding. Thank you for this opportunity. And this one's relatively straightforward. So this is under Rebuild Illinois, and I know we're going to talk a little bit about, and have talked a little bit about, and we'll continue to talk about how the state's going to fund things. Less cars on the road means less dollars in the Department of Transportation. But currently, we do have an open grant for transportation, rural transportation. So this is access to capital. This is a capital assistance grant. And we've been working with Show Bus, and we put together an $85,000 project, which is a single medium-duty paratransit vehicle, and then mobile radios to outfit the fleet. We were talking about it a little bit internally, even though the radios don't seem that old. They're already, by the time we implement this program, will be 5 years old. So this is an opportunity for us to get fully upgraded radios within our fleet and get another frontline vehicle to offer transportation. So we're requesting $82,000. The local federal required share is going to be $3,000. Talked with Laura quite a bit about it, and she believes within the current budget we'll be able to absorb that without needing to request additional funds from the county to offset that. So this is a zero request from the county board, from finance today, and hopefully the county board in a couple weeks. But it's our intent to hold a public hearing on May 11th. We need to work with the state's attorney's office to receive opinion of general counsel. But what we're requesting today is the ability to move forward and authorize the chairman to sign the grant and allow staff to submit on behalf of the county for this $82,000.
Okay, so I just have to ask, if it does come back and there's not enough, and we do have a local, monetary contribution, that would have to come back to the board for a vote at that point on what that is, but you don't expect it, or are you saying there isn't one?
We do not expect it. I mean, because we get local service agreements with 2 of the townships, and funds like that could be utilized as our local match. So we're capping the total expenditure from the county at the $15,000 that was approved when we went through the 5311 and DOPE, and we're not requesting any more funds for this grant.
Okay, thanks. Is there a motion on the floor to get into full discussion?
So move.
Mr. Lear with a motion to approve, a second.
Second.
Mr. Washington, any discussion points, questions? Alrighty, then we'll do a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Lear?
Aye.
Mr. Seroy?
Aye.
Mr. Washington?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Ms. Weber?
Aye.
Mr. Payton?
Aye.
Ms. Parker?
Aye.
Mr. Kinzinger?
Aye.
Mr. Zenz?
Aye.
Ms. Hess?
Aye.
Mr. Swanson?
Aye.
Ms. DeColo?
Aye.
Mr. Dennell?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Alrighty, moving on. I have no other business. Is there any other business for the Finance Committee? Does anybody have anything they would like to discuss?
Andy,
Yes, sir, Mr. Hess.
it's probably not the finance, but we're not meeting with anything else. Could you give us a quick update on the courthouse?
Sure.
Been done?
Sure, and don't let me forget, if you guys have any questions for Mark, he's here too. He may have thoughts on MFT and other things. If I'll put you on the spot.
Wow.
Because, yeah, we don't, but I just want to mention that we won't be seeing him for a while. He's had enough of this. But no, the courthouse update, the left portion of the front steps have been, they've been done and been leveled. And we're doing the right portion of the steps because we couldn't do them all at once because we still had to get in and out. Apparently, I haven't been up to the Judge Albrecht's courtroom, but apparently that's almost done as well. The carpet's been put down. Everything is almost ready to go in the ADA courtroom we have. All the caulking and sealing will happen at that point. We've skim coated a couple of the walls that were really deteriorated coming out of the jury assembly area, coming back up the steps. I don't know if you've been down there, and if you have, you definitely remember being down there in jury assembly, but that wall was in bad disrepair. We fixed that. We've also fixed the ramp coming in to the courthouse, and that has been cleaned up. We're looking at the railing on it as well and getting that cleaned up and painted so it looks nice. And then the Circle Drive in the back, I believe they've got the curb down now, all the way around that. They've got the new curb and they're working on the sidewalk. When that's done, obviously we'll be doing the the asphalt on that Circle Drive. We will have to come back and do the apron because it's not the state's fault. It's just the way things are working on timing and us bumping this up. We've got to get some permits from the state on fixing that apron because it's technically in the right of way of a state route. So with some traffic things we're working through, and Ben and Mark have been working on that. So there are no problems. It just may be a delay on that last little portion. And that's probably the way we left it right now. We're hoping that they can fast track this because it's not that big of a deal, but there is a process. So we're thinking here, at least with the majority of the work, we should be done here in the next really couple of weeks. And we'll have met the Attorney General's requirements on ADA after a long battle, not a battle, just process, if you will, 10 years or so. And so we're going to do something as far as, I don't know, ribbon cutting, that's usually not my thing, but we're going to do something, and we're talking to the Bar Association over there and maybe have a business after hours there or something so the public can see what we've done. So that's about the best update. We did have some cost overruns, if you will, because you remember I was talking about the supports for the steps being deteriorated and basically resting on 100-year-old train rails. The metal had deteriorated, so we had to build that up, and we poured some foundation, if you will, in there and leveled those off. But I have been in conversations with Representative Parkhurst, and we are slated to get future money from grants. And what we've done is we're bumping up some of that to get a little bit of that early. So we can handle some of these cost overruns. It was about $25,000 overrun what we thought it was going to be based on those steps. So from a financial perspective, we still had roughly I want to say $180,000 that was paid for with a grant, or will be reimbursed hopefully with the current situation. But then also we had a little bit of extra cost because we decided to do the pavement and some other things that were associated with that. So it's about the best update I got, unless you have anything. You're talking with District 3? No?
Nothing. Okay. No update.
It's good to see that we're able to get this done during the slowdown, because it would have been a logistical problem anyway for the courts if we were doing it in April. Or excuse me, in May. Any other questions? Anything anybody needs to talk about? Alrighty then. Opening on the Farmland Review Committee, one opening Caberry Area Fire Protection District, one on the Essex Township Fire Protection District, one on Grant Park Fire Protection, one opening Kankakee Township Fire Protection, one on the Otto Township Fire Protection District, one on Pilot Fire Protection District, and one on the St. Anne Fire Protection District. So with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So be it.
Mr. Hess, is there a second? You guys want to stick around?
Second.
All right. Who gets the second?
I'll second.
Okay, Brenda Zaculo. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. All right, have a good day.